Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very well. Thank you so much for joining me today on this lovely Saturday, or probably not when you're watching this, but you know, the effort's there. We have all three little animals. Look at her tail going already at the sign of getting attention. We have Milo over here. He normally likes being over here, but this spot has been reserved. We are going to be doing an update today on the Cynthia situation. Cynthia, babe, if you're watching, hi, have a glass of champagne on me. Why did I say it like that? Champagne. For some fucking reason, I spelled it wrong in my head. Ugh, champagne, Cynthia. I meant champagne. Because I was going to say wine, and then I was like, but she prefers champagne. So then I said champagne. I was like, Cynthia, ignore that. Ignore that, please. But anyway, enjoy a little glass of champagne. And hope to see you very soon. The only reason, Cynthia, by the way, that I haven't responded to any messages is because I'm moving right now. Please forgive me and please accept me back one day. But we love you here. Can we get some Queen Cynthias in the chat? So Cynthia is the woman that Tana did the story time about and doxed and threatened and all this stuff. And Tana has been doing a little bit of a podcast to her recently, and they're all asking her about it. And so we're going to be watching the BFFs podcast and then Tana on Trisha's podcast. And we're going to see her reaction and her justifying or explaining or apologizing for what she did to Cynthia. Before we get into that, please subscribe to my second channel. I would really, really, really appreciate it. We just hit 43,000 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. I am daily vlogging over there. It'll be pinned down below. Please go check it out, and love ya and leave ya. All right, let's do it. So this is her on the BFFs podcast. Let's go.
Holy.
She looks pretty.
Here, Tana versus Cynthia. Tana lost a spot.
So this is the article that Kat wrote that we read, which was like, YouTuber loses sponsorships over threatening life of wine girl or something.
A sponsorship over a dramatic retelling of a wine tour. She went on France. Sponsor cut ties with YouTube star who said,
"Look at Cynthia. Is that not mother?"
She wanted international wine expert dead.
Okay, that's God. The headlines are good. Like whoever wroever that deserves a raise.
That's not.
Shout out Kat.
That's like somebody else's headline. That's
Oh, I know,
literally.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she took their headline.
Whoever
So do you want her dead?
The PR funnel is fucking beautiful, dude. That hats off to whoever fucking wrote that.
Tana was not expecting the wine tour to be such a long walk and so educational. Don't make it educational on Tana's ass. So she left 5 hours, 12-hour tour. That's nuts. She left 5 hours into a 12-hour tour and said want to curb stomp her tour guide on her podcast episode. You didn't say that?
Dude. Dude.
It's a direct quote.
It is
like
a
a
direct.
You want to curb stomp her? Tana goes, "I didn't say that." He goes, "It's a direct quote from you."
Quote. They actually have the quotation
Yeah, Brie going, "Do you want her dead?" What the fuck?
marks around it.
All right, so what happened?
The shit I say never looks good in a news headline because you know me. I'm going to be like, this bitch is being so fucking crazy. I want to literally stop fucking telling me this or I'm going to curb stomp you. I'm not curb stomping anyone. Like, if you've ever seen Canceled, I would say 85-90% of what I say is a wild dramatization, and
Sure,
the entire
I get that.
viewership is very well aware of that. Even my story time days 9 years ago on YouTube, that's every single one of my fans knows that that's exactly how I talk, and that you know, I don't want.
No, this is a good point that Tana brings up. Now, what she said about Cynthia, honestly, is fine. If she didn't be like, but I have the name, her name is Cynthia, and we were in this town. That's when it went wrong. If you're going to talk about someone or whatever, and you don't give the name, and you don't give where you were going to, that's fine. Very vague. But that's not what Tana did. Now, this argument she's making about the audience of the podcast are aware that everything I say is dramatized and dramatic, that is also a valid point. But it is your responsibility if the content exceeds your regular viewership. And you do have a responsibility with what you've said, especially if you're naming an employee of a company. This is why I'm 100% on Cynthia's side, even if the story at times was funny. You know what I mean? Like, the problem with Tana's story is I can't enjoy laughing at little comments that she made when she names the employee who then is at a risk of losing her job because Tana's minions are going and finding her because Tana literally gave them the bait to go and find her, and that's when it's different. That's why I'm on Cynthia's side. Now, if Tana hadn't mentioned Cynthia or the town that she went to and it was just a vague story, we wouldn't know about Cynthia, and I would just find it to be a, you know, stupid little story that Tana told, like always. But whenever you bring people's names and livelihood into it, you have a responsibility. So the dramatization of it, you have a responsibility for if you directly name someone that can affect their business, which is what she did. I mean, hundreds of fake reviews saying don't go with Cynthia, Cynthia will make your day awful, all this bullshit. That is why it is a case of there's a responsibility here.
Want anyone dead, and I don't think I said I want this person to die. Like, I definitely was just speaking in like a tangent.
I'm pretty sure she said that she wanted her to die, and Brooke said me too.
I've wished death on a lot of people, I think, including you. So it's like, I get that. I
Dave,
get that.
honestly, I needed to hear that. Yeah, I had a horrible experience with someone who was super, super, super fucking disrespectful, unkind, unprofessional to me. Horrible. And I will say one thing that, and I know what you're going to say to this, Dave, and this is, I take full accountability for this.
I think there's something interesting to be said about how Cynthia gets reviewed online for being like the nicest, most professional person, and the only person that said that Cynthia was rude and aggressive and is Tana Mongeau, the ever so reliable Tana Mongeau. It just makes me think she's still doubling down and lying, but
I should know better. But one thing that is very frustrating about podcasting and talking about your life is I have fans that I feel like I'm so close with, even at the meet and greets when I see them. Like, I'm having people tell me their craziest sex stories and who pissed them off today, and I'm telling them everything on stage. Like, that's just our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes
Tana, I'd pull back on that. Tana, I'd pull back on that. Tana, I would pull back on that, babe. Tana, if I can give you any advice, sweetie, pull back on that.
Tell a story, and it's like, I really appreciate the people who love me so much that they go find these people. But what I don't appreciate, like, I get it, be nosy. Brooke and I always talk about this. Go find their Instagram. Look, I'm nosy. I do that. Everyone does that. But when you take it so far as to reaching out to someone or messaging them or leaving them hate or doing actual cruel things, like, I just don't condone any of that. And I learn every week on Canceled more and more that it's like, if you tell a story, you have to be prepared for that. And it frustrates me to no end. Did I have a horrible experience? Do I think that was a horrible person? Yes. Looking back, I probably wouldn't have, you know.
Yeah, I get that. That's
just not finishing her sentences.
That I've dealt with, and Barstool has dealt with for a long time. And a lot of our vocal critics will be like,
someone said, but did she address this on her personal platform? No, she hasn't, which is just really weird. Yeah, she is throwing her fans under the bus, which is a cop-out, rather than just saying, you know, I had an awful experience, fuck that person, but I shouldn't have named her. Literally, and that's still like Tana Mongeau-esque, you know, fuck her, fuck that whined her, fuck that experience, but I shouldn't have named her name. You can still double down on the story and apologize for naming her. And that's still like, you know, the Tana Mongeau-esque of it.
Responsibility for me, say somebody takes a shot on me on Twitter, and they're a little.
Her fans wouldn't have done that if Tana didn't name them. Yeah.
If I respond, my crowd will savage them. They'll go after, and people will say, my critics will be like, Dave, that's your responsibility. I generally don't agree with that. What you said, it's like, if you threaten somebody or you do things that are crazy, you're an asshole, and you should never do that. And I maintain that. However, my job is not to create a safe space for somebody who comes at me. Now,
but the problem with that is this is not about creating a safe space or anything like that. It's about directly sending hate somewhere to, not even sending hate somewhere, sending the ability to ruin someone's career. To ruin someone's career. And that is exactly what Tana did. So that's different here. But I guess we are on the BFFs podcast, and this is to be expected.
Oh, this is a little different. I don't know what happened there. Like, generally, I won't go after, like, if someone throws the first punch at me, then it's like, okay, I'm coming back. I generally try not to throw the first punch on a personal level because you do have that, and I have that, and a lot of people. You have your crowd who. And by the way, it's generally a very, very, very small. It's like 0.0001. But if one.
Yeah, I mean, seeing chat be like, I don't really know what this means then for boundaries, and what does this mean your platform is? Like, is this your way of saying, oh my God, Rebecca Black just messaged me? What? I love Rebecca Black. What? I love Rebecca Black. Oh my God, I love Rebecca Black. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. She just said your video about me popped up on my feed, and you're a sweetie. I want to say thank you. It means a lot. Woo! Yes. Yes. I love Rebecca Black. I love Rebecca Black. My day has been made. That was such an exciting notification to open up to. This was very exciting. Oh, I'm very excited with this. Sorry for showing it, Rebecca, but I'm very, very, very excited. Love her. Love, love, love her. Love her. Phew. I was really nice in that video, but it scared me in case I said something bad. No, I'm pro Rebecca Black. Very, very, very exciting. Sorry to derail from this video. Should we just finish talking about Rebecca Black?
One or two people do it, it does reflect for the bigger group.
For sure. And I think, I mean, she threw the first punches verbally in person, and that's why I told, I would never just start talking shit about a random woman in the north of France. Like,
Right.
I don't know, this is a really cop-out from Tana, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I would never, hey. Now is not the time to play. Now is the time to sleep. Please. Be like Milo back there. This is really weird to say that, like, she's blaming Cynthia for throwing the first punches, but that could be argued that that didn't happen as well. You know what I mean? Dolly, back and sleep, please. Back and sleep, please. Thank you, sweetie.
She was very horrible, and everyone I was with can attest to that. But looking back, I probably would have told the story in a more concise way, or, sometimes
just don't.
That's the story of my life.
What? Like, you don't have to concise or edit the story. Just don't name her. Okay, let's not fight right now, please. Thank you. You know what I mean? It's like, you could have told the exact same story in the exact same way, telling her to fuck her, that you want to curb stomp her. You could do all that. But you naming her and directing your audience, you literally gave the employment and the employer's name. That's the difference.
With canceled, I guess, every week I'm saying, I wish I told that differently, or I said that differently, because now this is happening. And I understand that what I have creates a ripple effect. And like you're saying, there's power there. But I do appreciate your sentiment about, like, hey, if you're terrible to me.
Yeah, and there's a difference.
Okay, so if you're terrible to me, then I can dox you and get you to lose your job.
I guess it's like, I don't know how your crowd managed to pinpoint this girl. It must have been a woman. It must have been specific.
She lives in a town with a population of 300. Hence,
she's doing press now about it, right?
Bible. Is she? I'm like finding things out about my own life here.
What did you say? Bible?
Yeah, like Bible ? Like on the Bible, like she's doing press about it now.
I'm pretty sure I saw an article about it.
Is that people say that when you say something? They're like, Bible? I've never heard
people say like on God. Like,
yeah, I've heard of them.
Number one, yeah, that's true. The population isn't 300. Tana's lying. And number two, Tana describing the town and where she was going away from France. Cynthia whined her. Very easy to find her. Tana has a responsibility with that. Number three, Cynthia is not going on a press tour. Cynthia is responding to media that is asking her questions, trying to defend her fucking company, by the way.
God, but now it's Bible?
That one got ruined for me. But, what was I going to say? I think the Kardashians kind of coined that.
So anyway, now we're going to hear what she said on the Trisha podcast.
Or who was it, Cardi B recently? Like when she had the water bottle thrown at her, you heard the track going. So I think everybody does it.
Do you think
that is true, Mom?
No, right?
Like, like, is she wrong? Like, no, but she's too rich, right? Because then someone's gonna try and sue her and be like, you hit me, and then she'll probably settle because she's so rich. I just think when you're rich, you can't be like.
I love Tana's hair here.
I don't think she's wrong.
I like Trisha's too.
Are you worried at all with this podcast about getting sued for slander or defamation?
I try to be allegedly, and I try to be really nice to everyone
allegedly
now.
saved my life.
Allegedly,
bitch.
yeah.
When I learned the allegedly trick, oh my god.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, that's the other one.
Right,
Yep.
right. Because you have been getting called out lately for you got canceled. Do you talk about this? Yeah, I mean, you don't have to, but the whole little wine thing that happened. We don't have to go into it.
Can I tell you the truth?
Yeah.
I had an hour call with my lawyer about it in the glam chair today before I came
no.
here.
How do you deal with those things? Do you get stressed? Or you're just like, whatever.
I only ever get stressed, I feel like.
Why is she having legal calls about Cynthia? She's the one that fucked up Cynthia. Why the fuck are you, like, legally trying to please?
Could potentially go to court. This one, I mean, sincerely, I had a horrible experience and I talked about it. I think it was just kind of like I left a bad Yelp review.
Yeah.
You know.
Tana, you did not. Bonnie, can you. Oh, sorry, I'm telling the girls off a lot today, but they're. Can you stop? Nope. You know I don't like that noise. That is not a Yelp review, and she fucking knows it. And maybe that hour-long call with her fucking lawyers told her to say that, but literally naming someone, calling them the C word, which I love that word, but like in the context of being aggressive, like you saying that you want them to die and all these different things. When that video reaches the general public past your audience, it's going to be interpreted in a way of this woman is so bad that she doesn't deserve a career, which is why your audience swarmed hundreds of fake reviews on her, trying to ruin her company, bringing her Google rating down, bringing the stars down. This is not a bad Yelp review. It's using your platform in a very inappropriate way. And again, Tana, I'm like on your side with dramatic story times. I fucking love it. I love watching that type of content, but don't name her. Don't name her. And like, that's the problem. Like, you could have told this story and it could have been fine. But the fact that you named her and the fact that you're not just like saying, oh, I shouldn't have named her, I'm sorry. Like,
no, and that's okay. And if anything, she's gonna get so much more business. I'm sure there's people who just want to now go
of course
try it out and whatever. I'm learning to maybe make my aliases stronger though.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, you didn't give an alias, you just said full. But in a way, I guess that is a Yelp review, right? Like, I think that
it's not.
I mean, I think maybe that you had a Wendy Williams moment in there, you know, when she's like
death to all of them.
Yeah. Where it's like iconic, but also like, ooh, you know.
It's the thing is that like is that I know my audience gets my vibe, or like you would.
Everyone
if I
knows you're joking.
But
I mean,
if
you're
someone
not.
who's not in that.
Okay, but the audience can also be aware of the fact that she's joking, but the audience are also the ones that are then using that joke and swarming her to try ruin her business. You know what I mean?
Direct fan base sees me say some shit like that. It's like, oh my god, Tana, shut the fuck up.
I can't believe Tana is addressing this on every fucking podcast she goes on, but isn't addressing anything in the slightest on her own channel.
You know? Like, see you in general, and they just get, there's something. Because for you, it's like any little thing you say or do, people are going to just, like, jump on you for. I feel like it's crazy.
The out of context will always kill me. Because I just say the most out-of-pocket shit in a sentence, and then the next sentence, I'm like, I didn't mean that. But, like, NBC's not putting I didn't mean that in the headline.
Did you have Did you do interviews about that? I feel like you haven't talked about this.
I talked about it on BFF's podcast for a second the other day.
You went on there?
I went on BFF's like a day ago. It's coming out. I sort of...
But she said she didn't know the article dropped on the BFFs, but now she knows that they were quoting different things. So what is it? Did you read it or did you not read it? Listen, I would read it.
All the podcasts.
I sit down for BFFs and I'm like, it's obviously I know they just want the tea, but they sent me like the docket before and it's like 7 scandals. And I was like, damn, I'm in like 6 scandals right now. And I didn't even realize.
I didn't realize either. I'm like, wait, what?
I've gotten to the point where literally I'll be like, oh fuck, I'm in a worldwide scandal. Shit. Like 5 days into it.
You don't know. So you don't feel it. Like I feel it. When something like comes down on me, it's like all, I mean, now I'm like married and so I can like distract myself. But when before I was like feeling it and I was like so scared all the time. You know, get anxiety over it. You're just like, whatever.
I guess I do like sometimes get a little anxiety or I'll read shit. I try to just take everything as constructive criticism.
Yeah.
But like, if anything, I think that now once you really learn canceled culture, you kind of realize like, oh, in a week. I
hate that word so much.
Yeah. So it's made me almost a little too.
I don't care about Joey Graceffa with so much love.
When shit goes really mainstream, I'll be like, okay, wait, this is a real scandal. What can we learn from this?
Yeah, that's smart.
But yeah, it does make me a little too nonchalant.
When do you bust out an apology? Like, do you do it in a moment? Like, I will do it so quick. I'll apologize now for this interview. I'm like, I am so sorry. I had no idea.
The preemptive apologies hit. I love it. I'm so sorry for all of the next hour. You know, It's good to just get it out of the way.
Yeah, I try not to be offensive, but
I apologize when I feel like it's something I did is sincerely morally wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like I am lucky to have like Amari and Paige and like Alexis and like all of my friends in my friend group who will straight up be like, T, you're wrong.
Yeah.
So
all right, we'll leave it there. Now, my final thoughts about this are that it's like, I can't reiterate enough how it was just the way she handled the situation rather than the actual story. Someone having a bad reaction or a bad opinion or a bad experience at a winery, especially it being so long, is not the most fucking surreal thing in the entire world. The problem is when you have a huge platform. Could you imagine a big celebrity did that? They would be written off forever because you have such a big following that want to defend you. They weren't at the wine tour, but they'll act like they were there to, ruin this woman's business. That's the difference. And I just don't know why she just can't acknowledge that and instead will be like, but she was such a bitch to me still. So like, it was just a Yelp review. I don't know about that. Team Cynthia. On God. Bible.